Hello YouTube, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are in week 2 of our Tuesday Sports Shot League on a PBA 37-foot bat pattern. As of last week, we only had one high game of a 222, if I remember correctly. But today we're back on the lanes again and see if we can copy what we did from night 1, but have a bit better of an evening. Anyhow, for those of you new to the channel, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it as it helps me continue to grow on this great platform called YouTube. Anyhow, I'm going to stop yapping. I'm just going to let you guys watch the first game of week 2. Here we go, chat. See you soon. Getting to the end of the first game here on this evening of League. We get a strike on the ninth and we double it up here in the 10th frame. We're going to go back up again. This is just one of those plain instances where accuracy just happens to be so important. And we missed by a mile on this one, leaving a washout. And simply put, we just get 3 pins here because there's nothing more I could have done at that point. So we're going to walk away with 147 after the first game, only off of my sports shot average by 7 pins. So not too bad of a start. We will take our point on this points format. There are 2 vacancies at the top of the order, so which at the end they were placed at the bottom. So for us, we're just bowling a vacancy. So as long as we're within 10 of our average, we'll get the point. But if we're not within 10, then we aren't gonna get the point, and that'll be that at that point. We do lose the 2-point team game in this first game by only 43. So it's a manageable deficit going into the second game. So we just have to make it all back up here in game 2 and 3 and we'll be just fine. So we're not out of this matchup, but it's definitely a frustrating start for a good chunk of us, myself included. Um, but yeah, as you've seen through these first 4 games, we kind of feel it upside and then downside and all that stuff. So it's been a struggle on this pattern, especially because it's shorter and I'm still figuring it out in short. But for all these patterns, I'm not going to have a lot of games logged on them, so that's just going to be the nature of the deal. Anyhow, for those of you still watching, I do have a question we're going to ask the viewers of the video. For anyone who has sports shot experience, tell me a bit about it and what you bowled on, because I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Anyhow, let's get you back to game two. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? Welcome back to this game. As you could see, this game's story was pretty much a low count game. A lot of things happening in this game. I mean, as I'm looking at it, I probably just need to just put the ball lower, and there's probably like a handful of things I could do slightly better to at least give myself a shot. But at this point in League, I'm not really taking much factor into that, as we're just putting shots down a lane at that point when we're not looking good. We did strike in the ninth at least, so that keeps us above 100. But it's proven to be a pretty tough evening for us, and we will finish under average and lose our point. We leave a 10 pin here, which this is probably the highest count we had outside of a strike, and we're just outside of the 10 pin on that shot. So we'll finish game two with a 119. However, the rest of the team was way better than I was in this game, so we ended up taking the 2 points in this game by almost, what, I think it was like 80. Yeah, we were up 85, so we made up everything we lost in game one, plus a little bit more to slide into game three. So I got picked up quite a bit in this one. Um, but at least we have this last game here. I think like some of the things I've been thinking about is just my quantum evo is too strong for me still on a sport shot, but I think it's a good option for this. It's just I don't have the I'm someone who rolls pretty slow, and um what is it? I'm trying to think here, but it's just a little too strong. Like I feel like if I went with a weaker solid, I'd probably be better off on this pattern. But we only have 4 league specific games left on this pattern, so let's see if we can try to make the most of it here in game 3. Thank you all for watching so far, and we'll catch up with you in just a matter of moments. now that we're coming to an end here on this third game, we're had a really solid first like 6, 7 frames it looks like, which is kind of a surprise at this point in the evening because I was kind of just average or under by a lot. However, that script is going to change here as we at this point it's basically a turning point to try to get back to an average series, and with these shots here, we just about get there. 171 through 9, we pick up the spare and go get count here. So, third game's really good. Really solid for being listed at a 154 average. Whether or not it was luck in the third game or we just caught a few good breaks is something we'll never know. But I did Brooklyn quite a bit on this pattern and on most of my strikes, but I did try to be more inside as I could, which I think kind of hurt me a little bit. But at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense to try to stay as inside as we could have there. But with some of the Brooklyns we had, they just happened to be Brooklyns with the way that my release was and all that stuff. So unfortunately, as far as series goes, we did rally close to it in series against the vacancy. We did get all my points in game. Well, we won my game 3 points, and we also took the total series as I finished 6 pins below the vacancy average. But because I'm within that threshold, I'm still getting the points regardless. So it's a 3 point matchup night for me. And as for the team, we are winning by an overwhelmingly large amount on series. So we end up taking 17 points, 3 of my points, and then as for the rest of the teammates, they all had 5 points of their own, which by and large at the end of all of this, we end up with an 18-6 result, and we climb up the standings, which is a major W in my opinion. So we will climb from 16th to 10th, I believe it was, or I think it was 14th, something like that. So yeah, we're now in the top 10, looking to move up in our first position round of the Sport Shot season. Next week will be our final week on this 37-foot bat pattern. So we shall see what happens there. Maybe we can match it. Hope for better. But yeah, final 3 games, and it's nice to leave the bowling alley on a high note with a 190 finish, as it gives us a little bit of hope for next week. Um, Something I am excited about is once this bat pattern's done with, I am going to move into my house shot ball with my Arctic vibe because the pattern will be a little bit longer. It'll get us slightly closer to a house shot, but not by much as it's a bit more accurate with the ratio and such. So it'll be another challenge in 3 weeks ahead of us, and then we'll kind of start seeing some daylight and breaking out some equipment that I've been fairly used to as of late going into the sports shot season. So I'm looking forward to that. On that note, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I still want to hear about your sports shot experience if you haven't already mentioned it. Down below, tell me what you bowled on, what all your experiences were like, because this is my first time in sports shot, and I love to hear what you guys thought of it in general. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be sure to catch you on week three's video, which will come out hopefully in a few days. I'll get caught up here pretty quick. But on that note, take care, chat, and we'll see you very soon.